What's going on, y'all? It's Cool Colas here, and I just got another video topic I wanted to get into with y'all about real quick. I wanted to talk about a topic that I don't really get a chance to get into too much because I'm so focused on the novel part and then the comic part of what I'm trying to do. I want to talk to you all a little bit about board games and kind of what my vision is for like that piece of what I'm trying to do. So for anybody who is tuning into this video and has listened to me for the first time, or like whatever the case is, the idea behind this creative brand that I'm trying to create is that I wanted to encompass three particular things that I want to have like a prime focus on. And for me at this point, it would be the comics portion of it, having a comic brand, writing books, and then creating, really cool board games. So those are the three things that I want to put the majority of my focus on, before I move on to something else, or even think about moving on to something else that I think could be very cool and is another interest of mine. So let's kind of get into me and board games and kind of how I feel about it, why I like playing them, why I want to create them, so on and so forth. So, just like a lot of people, I won't say everybody because I think a lot of, different people had different upbringings and whatnot. I grew up playing a lot of board games. At some point, I wasn't playing them as much just because I was playing more video games and I got into other things and I got more serious about school and things like that at that time of my life. I played them a lot when I was younger and I enjoyed them, but I never really stuck with it. But I picked it back up as I got older because I found like a lot of enjoyment from playing with different people as like an adult. Different people being like, family members, close friends, and people like that. And so, kind of like the writing, I got a love back for it. I think when you are living a certain life and different things are going on in your life, sometimes the things that should be the most important to you or or that does resonate with you, you kind of give it a bit of that backseat treatment. And I think that's kind of what I did with the whole board game thing. But now I would say that it's almost like a priority. I feel like I play board games probably at least once a week at this point. I play like a lot of the same ones, but at the same time, I do play it pretty frequently because I play it a lot of times with my wife. I play it with my mom over Zoom, like here and there, since like the whole quarantine COVID thing's been going on. We play a lot of not video games. We play board games here and there, like when we have time and whatnot. But I really got into it because I think that it was cool to have an experience where you actually were, although you were competing, it wasn't really something where it was like a dog eat dog type of thing. I'm not a big fan of competition per se because I think that there's a lot of room for people, especially black people, to like work together. So I don't really see a big benefit from competition with others. I see more of a benefit with you competing with your own self and trying to become a better person, or at least like the person who you're striving to be. I can understand competition from that perspective, but from the perspective of seeing another person and then competing with them when you don't know their story, their life, or anything like that, I think it can lead to kind of a weird mate and like, really a directionless path if like you're not really paying close attention. But I think board games create that pseudo competitiveness where you can do that and it's not really like a big deal. I mean, like you're just like really playing and having fun. And, I know some people, they take board games really seriously and they're ready to fight if they lose. And I get that. But, like that kind of segues into why I wanted to actually talk about why I wanted to create them. So what I find and what I have found a lot in my life, and I think this also is something that applies to a lot of people's lives, but they don't realize it, is that when you go to to like your jobs and you go to school and things like that, you get thrown into a pool with all different types of people, right? And you don't know really what you're going to get. So a lot of times you find yourself just hanging with different people here or there, or being around different people, and you end up, meeting, different types of personalities, different types of backgrounds, and some people gel with you, some people don't. And I think that one of the things that I noticed is that a lot of people struggle with getting to certain places in their life because they're in circles that don't resonate with like who they are or their spirit. Like, so in other words, I'm not even just talking about toxicity here. I'm talking about like, when you're just not on the same page with certain people. So it doesn't mean that you have to be absolutely similar to people. It just means that you want to like be around energy that's like similar to yours, that kind of resonates with like who you are, or resonates with a part, like a certain part of who you are, but somebody you also can like kind of learn from. And the reason why I wanted to make video, or I keep saying video games, board games, is because of the fact that you want to be able to learn who you're dealing with and who you're around. So I want to create board games, or I won't say I want to. I am creating board games that are to teach people a lot about the other people who they spend their time around or who they're playing with. So a lot of my games are going to be kind of geared towards that, and then a few other things. But we'll start with the whole getting to know people thing. So I think that one really important thing is to understand the personality, the thought processes, and like the wavelength that other people are kind of flowing at. So where you want to spend your time, as far as like when you're talking with people, or you're connecting with people, and just having a good understanding of who they are and really getting to know them. So I want to create games that are able to help people better connect with those who resonate with their spirit. I also want to help like create board games that help people to like understand like black history being like the true black history that we really haven't been able to learn, because it was never taught to us and we were denied of that, in our I'll call them indoctrination organizations, because it's not really like an education system, right? Like, I mean, it's obviously there for a certain reason and a certain agenda. So I wanted to be able to fill in that piece of the puzzle that I think has always been missing. When we're talking about about like black people really like learning about who their ancestors were, and like the pieces of history that are beyond slavery, and the things that America basically wants you to know. Like, I think that that's really important. So I want to implement games that actually teach that. The next thing too is I want to teach people financial awareness. So I've tried a lot of different like side hustles here and there, like over the course of several years. So I kind of have a good grasp at this point in my life on budgeting, and how things work from a financial standpoint, for at a moderate level. So I'm going to obviously advance my knowledge, but I want to create games or board games around that, because again, this indoctrination system I keep talking about is not teaching black kids about how they need to or what they would need to do to be able to manage their finances in the world, like after they're done with school and whatnot. So again, I'm not saying that that's supposed to be like the next step. I'm just saying that should be something that is known regardless of if you go to college or whatever. So I want to create games that actually are going to accomplish those particular goals. And one thing that I've kind of learned about my people specifically is a lot of us, we like to be entertained, and we create entertainment as well too. So I think that creating board games is a good gateway to be able to be interactive, to have that source of entertainment, and also to learn, but in a fun way where it doesn't really feel like learning. Because when a lot of kids, and even adults, they go to school, they know that there's a job that's got to get done. They gotta study. A lot of times they gotta memorize stuff, because for the most part that's what school is. You memorize stuff that they want you to learn, and then you are doing that because you want to get a good grade, because you don't want to fail, or if you're in college, you don't want to fail and have to retake something again and pay more money. So I think that this is a way to make learning fun, because in my opinion, I think learning should be fun. One of my best friends kind of was kicking it to me about how he felt about like learning, and how important it was to make learning fun just for like children, or really for anybody. And you know, that when he said that, it really resonated with me, because I realized that it almost feels like a task or a chore or a burden for a lot of people. It's like they know they have to do it because they know that you know, with the way that capitalism and all that, like as we see it today, works. You know, if they don't do something that's gonna eventually put money in their pocket as quickly as possible, then they could be out on the street. So I think a lot of people have that type of mentality, so they don't really get an opportunity to just really care about it being fun. That they may find something fun in learning, but they don't really like see it as fun. They see it as like a task for the most part. You know, obviously everybody's different, but that's just kind of, you know, like what I see. Personally, I want to create board games that basically teach people things. They teach people things that they obviously are not, you know, getting the opportunity to really learn. And I want to be able to be that inspiration that drives that within people. So, you know, the three important things here are that they help Black people to connect, they help Black people to understand their history, and that these games are helping people to be financially savvy and be financially aware. So those are the main things, and I'm gonna like obviously find like fun and creative ways to do it. At this point, I will say that I have literally created and tested probably about 5 games at this point, 5 or 6, and I have enough for 10 ideas, 10 different game ideas. But this is going to be a back burner project because, you know, I'm still trying to do the book, still trying to do the stuff with the comics and all this other stuff. So so yeah, it'll be sometime in the future. I wouldn't say the near future, but it'll definitely be something that I'll put out, you know, eventually, once I have the time and the opportunity and the utility to do so. But just keep staying tuned. There will definitely be a lot more on this topic, because again, I don't really discuss it very much, but I wanted to kind of just give you some insight on the way that my mind was working with that in this like little introductory clip, you know, regarding like board games itself. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoy this video. There's going to be a lot more to come. Keep staying tuned, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.